If you are a business owner or you work in a business, your life is going to be way easier if the organic marketing machine is flowing, because organic marketing makes everything easier, from the sales process to other forms of marketing to customer fulfillment. Every single part of your business will improve if your organic marketing improves. And not only that, most businesses will become a lot more valuable with an organic marketing machine, because those that have to rely on paid ads or paid influencers, those are very valid ways to grow a business. However, the more dialed in your in-brand marketing can be, the higher the valuation of your product or your service is going to be, because quite simply, it's going to become more of an asset. Think about some of the most popular businesses in the world. Now, obviously, these are extreme examples, but think about like an Apple and an Amazon. Obviously, they're not needing to create organic marketing the same way you probably are, but their brand is so defined that it becomes a lot more valuable than the competition. And even if you distill this all the way down to much smaller businesses, in every single category, you will see the category leaders usually for the most part, have organic marketing that is just firing on all cylinders. And so in this video, I want to talk to founders or high-level employees of both B2B and B2C businesses and explain how you create organic content from the business perspective, and 6 brutal truths that I wish that I knew. So over the last 6 years, I've worked with so many CEOs and founders on content for their business. We've had some home run wins, we've had some losses transparently, but in the process, I have learned an unbelievable amount. And so in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what you need to do to be able to scale your organic marketing within your business and also build a brand that changes the valuation of your company tenfold. So these are 6 brutal truths that I learned the hard way. And if you want to actually win with business and content in an organic sense, this is the best way to do it and what you need to avoid. Now, you don't have to be a founder to implement this. You can do this at all different rungs of the business, but at the same time, if it comes from the founder, an executive, or a co-owner of the business, it really humanizes it and people can trust it a lot more. So let's get into organic marketing that you can do and what you can avoid so that you can scale your business and make it more valuable. So in order for you to have success with your organic marketing, you have to be very consistent. And if you're not, you literally do not have a chance. I'm not saying you have to post every day. I'm saying you have to be consistent over a long period of time, specifically 6 to 12 months. And yes, this is a requirement, because if you're not consistent for at least 6 to 12 months, you're not going to be able to get the reps in to improve and deliver the value that you need to deliver so that someone can trust you. This is so important. So step 1 truly is you have to commit or quit. Now, step 2, this one is a lot easier said than done, but you have to learn how to ignore the noise. So, you don't want to get distracted by fake engagement or viral bait or $17 PDF influencers. Let me explain what this means. Fake engagement. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn and YouTube and these channels that are in these engagement pods. People go and comment and it looks like they're getting so much attention, but it's all BS. It doesn't actually drive money. You're better off getting 2 comments from people that are potential customers for you than 30 comments from these stupid engagement pods. It does nothing, and it's a huge risk to your accounts as well, because eventually the platforms catch up. So don't do that. Viral bait, pissing people off just to get views. I used to do that and it worked to get views. It doesn't work to get business. It's a dumb way to go about marketing, because you're polarizing a huge portion of your potential customer base, and most of the views that are coming in are going to be arguing with you in negative, and they're not going to buy anything from you. We're not trying to be famous YouTubers here. We're not trying to be famous content creators. We're trying to be incredible business owners and make a lot of money, okay? The $17 PDF influencers, basically another way of saying that, there's a lot of these gurus online, and the gurus are going to tell you how they made $10 million in the span of 3 months if you buy the $17 PDF, and then they put you into this funnel, blah, 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 blah. It's cheesy, it's corny, and I don't agree with it at all. What I'm getting at through all of this is that you need to check who's engaging, not how many people are engaging. This is like the golden rule of content. Who is engaging? Is it other CEOs? Is it qualified buyers? Is it my peer group? Who is engaging with my content? Not how many. Because I'm telling you, 100 views from the right audience is way better than 1 million views from the wrong audience. I'm just telling you right now, this is a fact. You do not want 1 million views from the wrong audience. You want 100 views from the right audience. So ignore the vanity metrics, like, shares, comments, etc. Focus on the qualified viewers. The same way you'd focus on qualified calls, qualified viewers. Now, moving on to the next one. You want to be known well instead of well known. So having 5,000 high signal followers, this kind of goes back to the last point, but if you have 5,000 high signal followers, that's going to be more valuable than 50,000 random followers. We're not here for vanity. We're not here to feel good about ourselves. We're not here to be popular. We're here to grow our business. And so you want to focus on attracting potential buyers, investors, and team members. And that's another part of this equation. Not only are you going to grow your business, but you're also going to attract way more qualified talent because once again, you're putting yourself out there, you're vulnerable, you're being open, and people get a chance to experience you. Vanity metrics do not fund your company. Another way of saying this is views do not equal revenue. Okay? So vanity metrics, we don't care about them. We would rather be known well with the right group of people than well known. Okay? Some of the wealthiest people I know are very well known or known well with a very niche group of people and not well known by the majority of people. This is maybe the most important lesson of this entire video. And I cannot stress it enough because a lot of times when I've worked with people and I've worked with venture-backed startups, I've worked with angel-funded startups, I've worked with $50 million in revenue companies. One of the tendencies is for people to want more views, want more engagement. Why aren't we growing faster? And I try to explain to them, look at the bottom line, look at the revenue, not the view count. We want the revenue to go up. The view count can go up incrementally, but we're not too worried about that. I feel so strongly about this. It's a huge mistake that people make. Okay. It's really important to keep an open mind. So you don't want to let pretentiousness keep your pockets empty. What I mean by that is, you don't have to sell your soul, but you want to be open to strategies that drive results. Another way of saying this is you just have to play the game. Social media is a sport and millions of people are fighting for each other's attention. So you have to play. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean you have to lie and you have to buy a Lamborghini just to show that you're successful so that people will work with you? No, absolutely not. What this means is you need to do best practices and things that are actually going to work. So, for example, something that's working on LinkedIn really well right now. I'm making this up, but let's say that I'm going to give you a B2B example and a B2C example. Let's start with the B2B example. I could post on LinkedIn and I could say, we booked 50 qualified calls for a client in the cybersecurity space, using a cold email method that can be replicated by any B2B industry in the world. Comment cold for the free PDF. This is one example, okay? And what's going to happen is you're going to get your DMs absolutely flooded with leads. And it's also they have to follow you in order to get your message, and you're going to be able to put a message in their inbox. They're probably going to reply, boom, open dialogue to start talking to a potential customer. It's literally the value of reciprocity. You give something and they're planning to give back in return, whether it's right now or much later down the road. Now, B2C, a great example could be, okay, so let's say that you have a functional drink company that is caffeine without the jitteriness and the nervousness. You could put up a long post. I finally figured out exactly how to consume as much caffeine as I need to be alert without the jittery sensation. Comment jitters to get the full formula. And then what they do is they comment and then they send the formula. It just so happens to be in their product. Oh, by the way, you can either make this or you can just go to our website and buy this. So there's multiple ways to play this game from B2B and B2C, but the point remains, you have to be willing to play the game. You must play the game. And it's important to have an open mind, and it can feel cringe, it can feel awkward, but if you do it, it will work. I promise you. Now, this is so important. You have to master your hooks because the first 3 lines in your video are really going to make or break you. Once again, we're competing for millions of eyeballs, millions. And that means your intro to your video better be dialed. People want to know what's in it for them and why they should keep watching. So not only do you need to tell them exactly what's in it for them and why they should keep watching. When I started this video, I said, this is what we're going to cover. This is how it's going to help. But you also need to make it interesting and engaging. No one wants to listen to someone with just a boring tone and not interested in recording the video. I always tell my clients, video is a transference of energy. So you need to bring the energy. And that means maybe you shouldn't record at night. Maybe you should only record in the mornings. It depends from person to person. it's also okay to be a little more polarizing than you're comfortable with. I'm not saying come out and saying F this type of people or F this person, nothing like over the line, but maybe you do say, hey, Klaviyo is a much better email marketing tool than this option, and here's why. You have to kind of place your flag in the ground, and you have to take a stand for what you believe in. Otherwise, you won't resonate with anyone. And yes, you will be cutting some people off, and there will be people that disagree with you, but there's a way to do this that's respectful without just pissing people off, but still stimulating a lot of conversation. Every viral video, whether it's YouTube or short form, every viral video has a very engaged comment section, usually because it's a polarity. People are commenting from one side, people are arguing from the other side. But at the end of the day, what I'm getting at, bland hooks equal no eyeballs. So if you're spending an hour on a video, you should spend at least 20 minutes on that hook, at least, maybe even more. Research other hooks that perform well. What are they doing in the video? What's going on? This stuff is so important that I really can't even explain it enough. So next up, always give a next step. This is very, very important. So when you're creating content, attention without action is a wasted opportunity. So for example, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, because I send out weekly updates about all things business, marketing, and even a little bit of health and related to how can you be successful while also not sacrificing your health. It's just something I'm passionate about and like to talk about. You want to drive them somewhere. It could be your newsletter. It could be a DM conversation like we talked about. It could be an event, but people need to be told where to go and what to do, and you need to be the one driving them and engaging them. Now, don't overthink this, but you don't want to miss it. Like this person might never watch a video of you again because the algorithm doesn't feed it up to them. If you can get them on a newsletter, what a massive, massive win for you. Now you have them in your ecosystem forever. Think about how valuable that is. So do not miss this. This is so important. And over time, what will happen is you'll be building your repertoire. You'll start sending out your emails. You'll nurture that list. And in 6 months, someone that watched the video 6 months ago might be ready to pay, whereas they wouldn't have because they would have forgotten about you. You want to get people off platform as quickly as you possibly can. Okay, so these are the 6 brutal truths I wish someone had shown me when I started posting as a founder and when I started working with founders. So you have 2 options. You can ignore them and you can wonder why your audience isn't growing, or you can take them seriously and you can start building a real trust-driven brand that's going to grow the business and it's going to increase the valuation of the business. And like I said, you need to drive them somewhere. So if you want more tactical breakdowns like this, subscribe and I will continue. I promise to deliver nothing but value. No spam, just straight value. And just so we have a quick recap, the 6 pillars are commit or quit, ignore the noise, it's better to be known well than well known, keep an open mind, and master your hooks. And always give a next step. You know the next step. Let's go.